there, Sandra here from Create in Spain, and today I've got a really fun card for you. It's a dressing table scene. So we start off with this card base, and I folded in and then out, concertina style on either side of the base. Make sure that you really score those lines properly and that you take your bone folder and really make sure they are pressed. It helps your card end up with a really clean finish. The first piece that goes inside the card, apart from decorative pieces, is this support. Again, do the same with the score lines and make sure they're nice and sharp too. It just makes life a lot easier. You can bend them in both the directions to give them added flexibility. When you've done that, you need to decide on your colour scheme and whatever papers or card that you're going to use as your background. I've covered the back with a decorative paper and also these flaps here. I have used a no wrinkle glue and I've used origami paper because I've got lots of it. It's a fine paper, you get it in lots and lots of different designs and colours, and it comes in small squares, which is very convenient if you want designer papers for your card making, by the way. A word of caution, do use a no wrinkle glue that you can depend on, because as in real life, getting air bubbles and lumps and bumps underneath your wallpaper isn't really any great fun. Let that dry for a little while before you put your insert in. Now this doesn't have to be covered with anything, it's not going to be seen. It just goes in like that, level with the bottom edge, and gets glued in place. Now the way to actually glue it is to put one side into the fold like that, put your glue or tape down, whatever you're using, then close that over and then do the same on the opposite side. While that's drying off, because I did use a glue, not tape, let me show you the piece that goes in the front. Hopefully you can see. I'm having difficulty with the lighting here. I've got sunlight that comes in directly through the front window here, and the trouble is if I put my blind down you can't see much. I don't want to do it in artificial light because that's not really great either. So there we go. So this piece is one cutout with a couple of bits added. The front of the chair, or the top of the chair I should say, gets cut out from this piece here. I've added the curtain, the dressing table curtain here. Now I've adjusted the file so that you won't have to cut little slits for the legs, because I had to do that, it didn't quite fit otherwise. But you have a separate cutout for the chair back, which was just the same colour card as this, and I just used an alcohol marker to colour it in a wood colour. And then I've added a glitter card for a fabric back. On the other side of it, I coloured the original cutout and added another fabric insert onto there. And the reason for that is because in front of this is going to be a dressing table mirror, and it's made from mirror card, and you will see the front here. So if you don't do that, you're going to have a not very nice looking reflection in the mirror. Now obviously I'm not going to put this in the card with a great big hole in it. That's not going to be the case. No, it's going to have another piece of card on the top. So now this is dried off, you can see the effect that you get. You're not going to see that piece because this is going to sit on the top, and that is going to bend over the top like that. And you can start to see the dressing room take shape. Now, before I put this on and before I think about what I'm going to put on top of here, I have my mirrors. And I'm not going to face this towards me, it's way too bright. It can go on the back wall. So you don't need the tab there, you can use it if you want to, because you can always put it in the piece that goes on top of that dressing table and slot it in. But I figured actually having it on the wall would make most sense. But what you want to do is only glue the center portion, because these two other pieces are designed to be movable. And they're designed to give that all-round look that the best dressing tables have got. So to get this stuck on, I'm actually going to use a double-sided tape because I don't want to risk any glue seeping out above the mirror for a start. And there we have the mirrors in place, and I don't want to blind myself by looking at it. It's way too bright at the moment. But you can see what effect you're going to get from that, and it's absolutely brilliant. A quick word of caution, because I've just had to reposition this. Leave the tiniest little gap between the height of that and your mirror, so that when you come to put this in, people can open the card easily and not find it too hard to open, because I did find that was a little bit too close. I have put on a little shelf with a handbag on there. Now the reason I put the handbag on the shelf rather than on here is because the area inside the handles wasn't cut out, and it's easier for me to fake the background paper there than it is on there, and it would have been a pain in the neck to cut that out again and take the gap between the handles out. So I've also put a couple of things on the front here. I have put another handbag down there, and I have put a little teddy bear on here. I didn't actually realise when I put that on there that I'd already put it on there, I'd forgotten. So she has two handbags of the same type. And I have done a little bit of jiggery pokery on the worktop itself. Now with the books, obviously I had a print of the front, but I didn't have a print of what you'd see from the other side. So I fudged it. And basically what I did, although I might have to do it again, because it seems to have disappeared, I put white lines up on where the binding is of the books to make it look like the pages are on that side. And for some reason it seems to have sunk into there and completely disappeared. But I'll have to do it again. The lipstick I decided is a bit too small to stand up, so I've just put it directly onto the work surface, and I've done the same with the mascara wand and the cap. The compact I cut out twice in the same direction because I wanted to have a cover on the back of it. Didn't want to have it just plain white, obviously. Now the two pièces de résistance on this is the perfume bottle, which actually looks, when you look at it straight on, it looks like it is pretty much standing upright. And this was a little bit tricky because the perfume bottle itself is something you don't view front on. So I've actually folded it on the corner of the bottle. I've actually folded it, and when it's in place it just gives the illusion that that bottle is actually stood up. Now with the shopping bag, I've added a slit in the top at the front where it would be open, and I've put in a little bit of screwed up tissue, which I think looks quite nice. And because I did that after I'd actually put the matching back on, I had to put another matching back on that, so it looks the same from both sides because it's going to be reflected in the mirror. That mirror is causing a lot of aggravation. But I think it's going to be well worth it in the end, because I think it's going to look really, really nice. So this can go on top of there. Now the way that I have put them on is I worked out where they needed to go, I cut slits, and then I've just glued them with the tabs on the back. And obviously when it's glued on top of here, it'll be all complete. I'm going to stick this together and then assemble my card. I'm just going to flatten that down and leave it to dry. Regarding the handbag here, I did actually go in with an alcohol marker of a very similar colour to this just to go in through the handles there, and it seems to have worked just fine. Now the other thing that I did cut out was a dress to go on a hanger on here, and I'm just trying to decide whether the larger one or the smaller one. That would make that bag absolutely enormous, wouldn't it? I think it's going to be the larger one. I'm going to do a little bit of fussy cutting here. I'm going to cut that hole there where the hanger is, and then I'll be able to colour in the dress. I just recoloured that handbag to make it different, and then I just realised something. I've got to take it off. I've got to move it, and I've got to move that teddy bear. And I'll try and move it using a pin. Doesn't matter too much if I make a mess of the area, but I need to take it off and reuse it. That has worked. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to cut off the handles, and they can pretend that they are flopping behind the bag. And the reason for this will, actually I'm just going to come straight across. The reason for this is because I just made a mistake. I just realised I could have easily done that. Oh, never mind. Right, we shall see. Now, the reason I come a cropper is because, let me just zoom back out again. I've put the dress here, and I suddenly realised that I do this and the dress is sort of cut off mid-prime, which wouldn't really be very clever. So I'm going to put that handbag just on the floor in front of the dress, and that's fine. Actually, it matches the dress, doesn't it? It goes with it. So that's not really a problem. And what I will do is I will fold that there, trim some of that off, and it can go inside there instead of going on the outer edge. So let's see how much of that I need to take off. About 1 centimetre. And that needs to line up with the edge of there. And I'll be able to put that in there. Phew! I would have been really unhappy if I'd had to make the whole front again. That would have been horrid. And the same goes with the side where the teddy bear was. Again, round about 1 centimetre. Line that up with the front edge. There we go. Do the same with the other side. See, I make all these mistakes so you don't have to. That's my excuse anyway, I'll stick into it. 9 times out of 10 when you see me make a card, it's being developed as it's being made. I don't make one first and then do one for filming, as it were. So 9 times out of 10, it is what it is. There we go. Press that in. Now I'm going to put some more glue back on my teddy bear because I thought he was quite cute. And he can go there. There we are. He's sat on the floor. Okay, well that's looking good. So when it's in position, there we go. And you can see in the mirror, you can see the reflection of what's on the table. So that works rather well. And flip that up. And the whole thing will go flat for posting. Now, if I really wanted to, I could put my handle back on there, so I think I might, because I know what colour I did that, or at least I think I know what colour I did that. I added some pearls around the neck of the dress. I used a bronze pearl that I had as if it was a hanger knob to hang the dress on. I did find the appropriate matching marker to colour in that bit, so I stuck it back on. And yeah, I think that has come out really, really well. So I'm very happy with that, and I will obviously be sharing the file. Bear in mind the mirror can be brought forward a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely flat against the wall. I just think that has come out really, really well. I'm very happy with that indeed. And the fact that that folds down flat, I think is quite tremendous. So there we are. I hope you have a go at making it. If you find different images to use, just use the method and try making it yourself. But I think putting the tabs into these little items and allowing them to stand up is what really makes it. It just gives it that extra bit of dimension. All I need now is someone to give it to. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.